collaborative is well named. It is a collaborative. And so we began to see our way forward. That was the moment where it just all kind of fell into place and made sense for us. That this was our calling, this was our ministry, this is what God was wanting us to do in San Jose.
It would be okay if I just died out there in the street. Nobody would know, nobody would care. And here, they really worry about you, and they want you to succeed, and they want to love you, and they do. And it's so much I can barely explain it. It's blessing to all blessings.
But I think the best thing that we had happen was watching the parishioners change. They changed. You watched them change. At first they're thinking, oh, this is just something that I have to do. I have to do this because my conscience says I must. And then they started to see that these are human beings. And they changed. They changed an awful lot. And some of these men were so intelligent, engaging, had held positions of responsibility, and for one or another reasons, these people were down and out on their luck, but very, very good to us and very thankful for what we were able to do.
I start my job tomorrow, but the bottom line is I won't be able to keep my job if I don't find housing. I've been on every wait list for apartments. They all have 2-year waiting list. I'm working with my social worker. I've been calling different places every day and not getting return phone calls back. I've done my part of reaching out, speaking out, doing the footwork, finding a job and everything else, but it all comes down to the same old housing situation.
We decided to open a safe park for unhoused people who live in their car. So we averaged about between 7 and 10 cars a night, and we served probably a total of 35 to 40 people during a 10-week period. So we provided restrooms for them. We provided a kitchen where they could come and pick up a snack, prepare breakfast, prepare lunch, and every night we gathered for dinner. That was provided by our parishioners. So we had dinner together.
It's stressful finding a place to park your car. I mean, you just can't park it anywhere. And sometimes people will think, what are you doing in our neighborhood or the store at a parking lot of a public store? The police come around. It's pretty stressful. And so I think this Safe Park program is pretty neat. I mean, I think it'll help a lot of people. It relieves you from always thinking, what's my next move? Where am I going to eat? What am I going to sleep at? If you got rid of those two, then you got time to think about other things you have to do.
So we had a coordinator, and there were volunteers that ended up volunteering throughout the 10 weeks. We provided fellowship for our guests, so we tried to integrate them into what was already going on in the parish as well.
Safe Park has meant the world. I've been actually able to sleep through a night when I couldn't before. I'm almost 65. I'm disabled and alone. And on the street, I run into a lot of harassment, not just from the police, but from others on the street.
I'm all for, the communities and this county to become more aware of the homelessness issue, and it can happen for all kinds of reasons. People being forced out of their homes because the rent's being raised and they can't afford to stay there. In my case, it happened to be a cancer diagnosis, and I was unable to work, having surgery and chemotherapy and being sick.
Decided that we would do a warming center, and we talked about it at church. And at first there was a lot of concern around that, and as soon as they saw what the plan was, how we were going to manage things from day to day, they completely relaxed. And within 5 weeks we went from this nervousness to let's get started.
We set up cots for people to sleep. It's one of those things you don't really realize, right? People who've been on the streets just aren't getting enough rest. And so even though they had a place to stay overnight, they still needed downtime of time to rest.
We set up Wi-Fi for folks so they could do their work, their housing, looking for housing. If they wanted to play a game, they could play a game. We had an area for movies that folks could sit back and watch movies. We had puzzles, jigsaw puzzles out, lots of magazines and books. And we basically just let them on their own. They just decided what they wanted to do.
What are you willing to do to help build a more healing community for all of our neighbors? Please consider offering shelter by showing this video to your community, faith leaders, and social justice committee. If each of us took just a few people in, countless lives could be saved and suffering for many greatly eased. By attending our collaborative meetings, we can help you answer the questions and concerns you may have in how to start sheltering and to get further involved.